Now, you brought up Colorado a little earlier, and it's nice that you did because there's been a whole lot of spin on what's been happening in Colorado. But I will point out that generally it seems like Colorado has a somewhat more robust public infrastructure. So, one could argue, well, they can handle all these issues with pot, but here in Nevada, especially with our healthcare sector already strained and potentially some budget problems next session, can we really handle the risk?
Well, the first thing that I would say to that is I don't see the risk, and the numbers don't bear out that there's risk here, because what we've found is that the $1.1 billion marijuana market that we predict will be regulated within 5 years of Question 2 passing, that $1.1 billion marijuana market's already here. It's just underground. It rewards cartels and criminals, but that activity is here. So the social problems we have with marijuana are here, which is why we have one of the toughest DUI laws in the country for marijuana, because if someone's going to choose to consume marijuana, it's illegal, but it's not hard to get. So it's something where people have not been stopped by the fact that it's illegal. So we're already paying for those things. The difference is that once we regulate this, the regulation will pay for itself, and then some. The regulation will bring in $60 million a year in tax revenue. 40 million of that will go toward regulating this, educating law enforcement, and in Colorado, they actually had a surplus of money going to the schools where they're now funding an anti-bullying program. That story dropped yesterday. They had more money than they originally wanted, or they originally expected, and so they're spending the extra millions. So there's been a net of $45 million to the schools. That's not happening right now. And also, overall, we spend $40 billion a year on marijuana enforcement and $38 billion a year nationally on incarceration for those crimes. We're spending a lot of money on a really, really big failure. It just hasn't worked.
So I guess we might as well get to the flip side of this equation, which is we've had readers ask about potential benefit to society. I know over the course of the summer, I've spoken with folks who've said, well, look at Colorado. If we pass Question 2, we'll see a bonanza of money come into the state. This will really help in balancing our budget, bringing in more tourists. Now, how much truth is there actually to some of this boosterism? Well, if we just pass Question 2, then everything's solved.
I have never argued that marijuana regulation is a cure-all. I don't believe it is. I think it's better public policy. I think it's better for our, to answer the question of how does this benefit society, I think the answers are in many ways. Tax money being one of them. $60 million a year in tax money is nothing to sneeze at. An extra $20 million a year for education, I mean, that's a new elementary school every year paid for by these tax dollars.
It's not enough to balance the budget on its own, but
correct.
It helps.
It does help. But overall, what are we doing here that will help society? Well, for people 18 and over in Colorado, marijuana arrests dropped 68%. So not only is that better because we're not hassling people because they're making a safer choice, but it's also better because each one of those arrests and prosecutions costs the government between $1,000 and $2,000. With 68% fewer of those, you're freeing up that's the hard evidence that we can really free up police and prosecutor time to focus on violent crimes, gang violence, to focus on the real problems like other harder drugs, and to focus, instead of hassling adults who shouldn't be hassled for choosing to consume this, they can focus on helping keep it away from kids, which we should do.
Yeah.